So what we've done is I've taped all around the edges and all of the corners with the silver tape, and we put on the paper and then cut diagonally on the corners and then wrap them all in around, so it's all waterproof. And now I've just taped up every last little bit of edge and section around the window, so we're ready to put in the big window and fix it in place. So that's what we're up to. Got the window ready to put in, taped it all, even taped under that awning, which was difficult, but we got it done and we tacked it all, ready to go. So because this window is so heavy and there's only two of us, Dad's put a rope upholding it, so if we do drop it, it only drops that far and doesn't drop off onto the ground and break. That's a good idea. And what we're doing is we're going to drill into the fin, which is this outside section here. So we're putting it up, fitting it in place because it's such a tight fit, and then drilling through this section with Phillips head screws into the tin, which will hold it. And then when I put the outside cladding on, that will go into this gap, which will hide the screw holes. So we got the window in, and it's so flush so we don't need to use any packers on the bottom. So I'm just holding it while Dad's going to screw in some screws from the outside. Got the next wall up. Nearly fucking died doing it, but I got the X both sides going down. One of the hardest things about doing strapping is just keeping it taut while you're putting pressure on the drill, and so that's even harder when you're going into steel, and it's even harder when you're up on a ladder. So it's even harder when you're doing it by yourself. So if you have someone else to hold it tight while you screw in, or even hold the ladder, it's much better. But it is possible to do it by yourself, which I just did. But there it is. Big X there, big X there, and I'll put another X on this side of the wall, and that'll be all the strapping that's done. So one trick if you're doing strapping by yourself is put up one corner, drill it in, and then come down and get the length and then cut it off, and then get a clamp and clamp it to the bottom just so you can keep the angle. And then you just go from one screw and you just go to each different pole, bang, 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 all the way down to the bottom. So that way it stretches out, so you don't want to put one in there and put one in there first, because then it'll be loose in the middle. So you just put it, progressively along, but to hold the angle, you can put a clamp there. If you don't do that, what sort of happens, which happens to me, you can see it on this one, where I've got the angle, but along the way it changed, and so I ended up, going up instead of the angle which I was supposed to go, which is the very bottom, which doesn't really matter too much, but to prevent that, you can just have a clamp to hold that angle while you're drilling in. Update on this long window, which we're going to put in today. So because we're going to put the window in, we've got this bit of wood here and that bit of wood sticking out down there, so we can place the window on either bit of wood while we're standing on the plank of wood here to try and get it in. So that way it's just easier for us to put it up. So what we've done here, guys, is the window is a little bit too long for the space to go in there, and so we've had to get the grinder and take off 5mm off each end. And so now we've got the grinder, and then they've just got the file to smooth it out and get it exactly on the line. And then hopefully by taking off 5mm from each side, the window will be able to fit, and it just needs to fit in this section, which is going into the house, and this will be on the outside, so it won't have to fit into the gap. Alright, so we got the wires that make the window go, and we've just drilled a hole in this corner and fed the wires through so that when we put it up, the wires will sit in this section here. Well, with lots of hammering and a bit more angle grinding, we got the window in. It was such a tight fit, we had to use a rubber hammer and smash in each edge, and we had trouble getting the wires to stay flat while we smashed it in, but we got it in.